Hello and welcome to the Sunday Sunshine Show. You've got the morning sun today. It's early in the morning, Saturday morning, when I'm recording this video. So let's make this a good one. We're actually going to be doing a lot of complaining on this video. Stick with me. So every Sunday I do a video at 7:30 a.m. with two other British ladies, Tina from Tina's Talk Time and Maria from Maria Crocker. We're all three British. Tina and Maria live in England. I live in the USA, and that's why we call ourselves the Transatlantic Housewives of YouTube. It's just for a bit of fun. Now, every Sunday it will be a completely different topic. Sometimes we're out and about on a day trip, sometimes it's shopping, sometimes we're cooking. Today, we're going to be talking about the things that really annoy us over the age of 50. So first, let me introduce you to Tina and Maria's channel. So my first complaint, which probably didn't used to bother me when I'm younger, but it does now, and that is when I'm shopping, things that aren't marked, things that aren't price marked. And now that I'm older, I won't put something in my cart if it's not marked. Say I'm looking at this top on a hanger and I really want to buy it, but it's not marked, it won't go in my cart. But when I was younger, I used to plonk it on in, didn't care the price. Now I'm older, I'm watching my pennies. My husband's already retired. Was in semi-retirement. I'm back to working. In fact, I'm working more than full-time at the moment. But yeah, I'm watching my pennies more, so something will not go into my cart. Now, if stores had those little price checker things spread out a bit more throughout the stores, I would take the time to take this to a price checker to see what the price is. But yeah, unfortunately, Target is one of the main offenders, and Walmart, you're close behind. That's the husband, he's just waking up. He's about to make morning coffee. My next gripe, which I really didn't used to notice when I was younger, but I do now, and that is, well, it's kind of like a two-part thing. Graffiti and littering. When you drive into a parking lot of a store, let's just say it's Walmart, you know, they have a huge parking lot. You go to find a parking space, and there's litter, and you know what the people have done that were there before you. They've literally opened up their car door, taken all their litter, dumped it out, shut the car door and driven off. And it's just like a pile of litter that sits there. And quite often there's a broken glass bottle. So if you are pulling in, you've got to watch that your tyre does not go over that grass. It's the glass. It's so annoying. People that are driving down a country road and you see something like a crisp packet go out the window, it's so annoying. One, it's dirty, don't do it. And two, the little animals, you know, the mice that might get trapped in a container, oh, that's our alarm, that gets trapped in a container, you know, it hurts them. Just don't do it. And graffiti is so annoying. However, since moving to Dallas, I've lived in Dallas now for 6 months, I've barely seen any graffiti anywhere, except for when the train passes through one of the towns, the sides of the train will be full of graffiti. But on the buildings and on the bridges, I've barely seen any, and I really did pick up on that because Vegas, there is graffiti pretty much everywhere. You don't have to go too far before you see some sort of graffiti. But yeah, there's no need for it. Let's not let it happen. However, when I was in my 20s, it wouldn't have even fazed me. So yeah, I'm getting really grumpy, aren't I, as I get older? My next gripe is bad driving. And in Dallas, both my husband and I have picked up on it. And we picked up on this within the first week, because it is out of control. Imagine driving down a country road and there's a T-junction. A car will pull out at the last minute right in front of you and drive in the same direction. So now they're in front of you, but they don't even bother to pick up their speed. You know, if the road is 50, they don't pick up their speed quick. So anyone that's following behind has to slam on their brakes to avoid hitting them. Now, I don't know if people are doing this to try and do like an insurance scam. I don't know, but it's absolutely prevalent in the Dallas area. And since living here, the amount of accidents I've seen here is way higher than the accident, count that I saw in Las Vegas. And I can tell you it shows in our car insurance, because our car insurance went up dramatically. Oh, and I've had a subscriber ask me to do a video on the costs of living in America, so I can probably do like a little bit of a comparison between Vegas and Dallas, so that is going to be coming up. So thanks for the suggestion. This next gripe I actually didn't like in my 20s, and I still don't like it in my 50s, and that is cooking. I'm not good at it. I didn't like cookery classes when I was in school. I much preferred to do needlework, and I actually started a petition in school, and that was that the girls should be able to do woodwork and metalwork, and the guys should be able to do needlework and cookery if they wanted to. And our headmaster at our school actually took note. A lot of people signed it, the petition, and he actually did let girls, if they wanted to, do woodwork and metalwork, which I did. There was actually quite a few of us girls that wanted to, and there were actually a few boys that I don't remember any boys wanting to do needlework, but there were a few boys that wanted to do cookery, and one of the boys went on to become a chef, so there you go. But yeah, cookery is not for me. Cooking, sometimes I'll bake. I'm even not that good at that either. But I think I find cooking difficult, a hard task. I can read a recipe over and over and over, and because it's something I don't like to do, my brain will not absorb the information, and I have to keep reading the recipe. How much? What do I do next? How do I cook this? What temperature? And it just is irritating and a bad, horrible chore for me. And then at the end of it, when I present my dish to my husband, 9 times out of 10, he won't like it, which makes it even more infuriating because I did put forth the effort. To me, he says I don't put forth the effort, but it is effort to me, and he says he doesn't like it. So yeah, from start to finish, I don't even like grocery shopping. So from start to finish, it's just something I haven't taken to, and moving forward in life, I think there's a strong possibility that I still won't take to it. Although I do like watching cookery programs. Kind of bizarre, really. My next dislike is a little bit of an odd one. Now, if you've stuck with my channel for a while, you know I like interior design, and you also know that I do like to visit show homes. I've loved doing that ever since I was a teenager. I love to get inspiration and ideas. Now, the one thing I do not like about homes, and 1, 2, 3 of our American homes had this, and that is having 2 living rooms. I don't understand the need for it. I grew up in an old, I think it was an Edwardian house, and the house that we had 2 living rooms. We had the posh living room. I'm losing my voice, by the way. I've been a bit sick this week. But we had the posh living room that was saved when my aunts and uncles would visit, and my mum and dad would retire to the posh living room, have their drinks and play their records, and Christmas tree would be placed in this posh living room. It was the front of the house, it looked onto the road, so Christmas morning would be spent in there. But then we had the second living room, which was where the TV was. The rest of Christmas Day would be spent, and every evening throughout the year would be spent in the regular, normal living room. I always thought, even as a child, even when I was 5 and 6 and 7 years old, I never understood why we never knocked that wall down, because our neighbours did next door and I loved it. But my dad refused to knock that wall down. And I would have much preferred just one big living room. And our 3 homes in Las Vegas had 2 dining rooms and 2 living rooms. We just never used the posh living rooms. It was just a waste of space. Much prefer a bigger living room. Now this one, because it really is open plan, we've got the living room, dining room, kitchen as one room. I would have preferred it to have been maybe 4 foot deeper, so it didn't feel quite as though I'm sitting right in the kitchen. That's the coffee pot, if you can hear that noise. Now I am interested, if you are someone that has the 2 living rooms, how do you use that space? Because I know growing up as a child, we probably used our front living room for about 30 hours out of the year. And my mum religiously cleaned that room every Saturday morning. And I just remember thinking, I will never do that. I will never spend my days off cleaning. I'll do a bit here and a bit there, a little bit of dusting, a little bit of vacuuming, picking up, but I'm never going to spend an entire day just cleaning. I won't do it. So my next gripe and my last gripe, you heard the coffee, right? It's early in the morning. It's now 7:10. He'll make a pot of coffee and to me it tastes watered down. It just tastes like hot water with a taste of coffee. And I prefer just boiling the kettle and using instant coffee. It's a much stronger coffee. You can control the taste of it more, I think, than a pot of coffee. But he likes to buy the cheap coffee. To me, it doesn't have any flavour, and he likes to stretch that bag of coffee. So he'll make it really, really weak. And to me, it's a waste of time because I don't enjoy the coffee in the morning. And it's a waste of product. Use it how you want to drink it. He likes a strong coffee, so why not drink that strong coffee? But because he wants to stretch that coffee further, and back in the day, he used to add water to ketchup to stretch that out too. I'm like, dude, you're being extra. Anyway, enough of my complaining. What are the things that you don't like? And what are the things that you just didn't mind when you were younger, but now irritate you? I'd love to hear, and it might give me some ideas for future videos too. Sorry about my voice. I know it's probably a little bit irritating hearing me talk. I've now got to get ready, take the dogs to the groomers, come back home and get ready for work. Oh, it's gonna be a long day. That's another gripe. Long work days, don't like it. I've got 8.5 hour shifts now, but it takes me 1 hour and 15 minutes to get to work and 1 hour to get home. So that makes it for a really long day. There you go, another complaint. Thanks so much for watching. I really appreciate it. If you enjoyed this video, consider giving it a hype and consider subscribing. Now please pop along to Tina and Maria's videos and see what gets on their nerves. Thanks so much. Bye from me.